All right, so guys, welcome back. So a brand new The Last of Us Part 1 remake video just released like 5 minutes ago, and it's called the Features and Gameplay Trailer. I actually thought to myself, you know what, before I watch it, there might be some really cool, interesting stuff that might be included in this video. So why not make a video about it? Now, before even starting the trailer itself, I find it kind of interesting how this video in itself has a lot of dislikes. Quite frankly, I think I understand the public, and the only reason why I believe that this game, the remake of this game, or the remake of the remastered version of this game, because it's been done so many times due to the fact that the game itself has been so incredible. I think the reason behind the hate for this particular version of the game is just the price point, to be honest. And I get it. I get both sides of the coin. Me, myself, on this channel, what I'm going to do to be able to help people out, for those of you that cannot afford it, I'm probably going to be doing, instead of like the regular 2, I'm going to be doing like maybe 4 or 5 copies and giving those away for you guys. I get both sides of the story. You know, things are so crazy nowadays. Inflation and everything's so expensive, and some of you guys, the majority of you guys are kids, don't really have a job or cannot afford it or whatnot, and just to drop $70 on a game that you've probably already played, I get it. And then you have the other side of the coin, which is the guys behind this remake of The Last of Us Part 1. 99.9 of these guys are not the ones making the decisions of, hey, let's make this game $70. And I'm pretty sure also some of these individuals who are working on this game are already getting hate. So I kind of find it a little bit unfair. But again, I still believe that these guys are hardcore fans, hardcore gamers like you and I. I still have to play a Naughty Dog game that just sucked, because I haven't played any of them. They're just top tier. They are at the top of the mountain, okay? So I don't know, it's kind of like hard. The game is in a weird spot right now, but hopefully what we get within this trailer is justifiable, if you will. Let me know what you guys think, how you feel about the whole situation. It's a tough one, but I've been talking for too long, so let's watch the video. We also get new gameplay with this video, which is also exciting.
I'm coming.
More than 2 years ago, when we were finishing Last of Us Part 2 and we were working on those flashbacks within that scene for the first game, we got excited with the idea of like, oh man, what if we made The Last of Us Part 1 to look as good, if not better, than what we have done with Last of Us Part 2, which we really pushed the boundaries of like what we could do from gameplay and a graphical standpoint, and felt like if we do that, we could actually come even closer to our original vision of what the first game would have been had we not been constrained by technology.
You know, I thought the same thing when I played Part 2. I'm like, wow, what if the first one looked just like
this? The original creative vision of The Last of Us, I think in a lot of ways was larger than what the PlayStation 3 was capable of.
Absolutely.
The tech of the PS5, it's like an open box of tools and goodies that we can play from and draw from. The 4K, HDR, improved haptics, 60 frames, help us to reimagine The Last of Us.
Wow. Just the frames itself, dude.
It gave us opportunities to rebuild our characters at the highest fidelity. Not only are the characters more detailed, I mean down to the irises and the pupil depth.
Wow.
You know, you fall into the eyes of the characters.
Wow.
Aside from that, the facial animation is just way more believable. Like all the nuances, all the little subtle reactions, glances, glares, right? Like you get all of it almost closer to sort of the original performances.
So no matter what, you stick to me like glue.
Like glue.
Like glue.
Got it.
Good.
We are able now to not only just have the highest fidelity characters in the cutscene, but also in gameplay. It's the same character, so now we can do these seamless transitions in and out.
Oh.
Every part of the game has benefited from seamless transitions and emotional scripting.
This is good, bro.
Good, huh?
Our stories happen in gameplay, on a stick.
She knew my mom.
All this stuff is designed to keep you constantly in this world.
Wow,
Riley, come here.
That's freaking
No,
impressive.
you got this. Go.
Let me pause this real quick, I promise, real quick. Don't forget that this was a PlayStation 3 game. This game was out for PS3. It was remastered, and how has that same game, how does it look like this now? That's fucking crazy.
One of the things that the PlayStation 5 is really enabling is that we're able to have a density of physics objects in a scene that we could never do before. Like, this has always been the dream, is to have this number of bumpables, chippables, breakables, destructible objects in a scene. It just makes the world feel rich, makes it feel lived in. Materials can have the properties that you'd expect. The turret truck in Pittsburgh, when it's firing at you and it's just ripping apart the concrete and sending objects flying left and right.
Seeing things break, like there's fear, there's a real fear that it invokes.
And it's giving us a much more dynamic range of gameplay to play with.
Around him!
That's so interesting.
Our AI tech has just increased incredibly. What we were building the basis off of was The Last of Us Part 2's AI. And it has sophisticated systems for things like the fundamental knowledge model of how these NPCs perceive and understand what the player is much more sophisticated.
Now how the enemies are communicating with each other, how they're chasing you, how they're flanking you, how intense that fight feels. It's so much more rewarding coming out of it from the other side.
Get out!
That looks fucking
One of the other
nice.
big AI improvements is the buddies. The buddies technology that we developed for The Last of Us Part 2 has this very sophisticated understanding of like, okay, this is where the enemies can see their exposure. We not only have exposure, we have future exposure. So buddies can know, okay, that enemy is walking forward and they're about to round this corner. So in 3 seconds, that corner is going to be exposed. So I'd better move now to avoid this enemy seeing me. This really lets the buddies make very complex decisions and maintain that feeling of stealth much more believably. Another big enhancement to the gameplay is that we have this technology called motion matching. Motion matching is this technology that's basically using logic that tries to match the desired movement to a bucket of hundreds of animations. A mocapped actor has gone in and run this whole gauntlet of movements to get a really full set of all the different ways a person can move. And then it's basically every frame trying to find the best matching animation that fits the path of where the character is going to go. And this motion model just gives this really seamless sense of transition. The player's movement is just a lot cleaner. It's this really smooth, organic movement through the space.
First, we just had to build that core experience. And then beyond that, we wanted to add several features that fans have been asking for. For example, we now have a permadeath mode.
Oh!
Along that, we've added a brand new speedrun mode, so players can time themselves. There's a whole community of gamers that
That's
just want to
cool.
see how fast they can play through this game. Beyond that, we added a bunch more of unlockables. So there's all these different outfits for Ellie and Joel that
Okay.
people can unlock. A model viewer mode, so people can really appreciate the details. We added award-winning accessibility features.
Every single accessibility option that we offer, that's a barrier removed for someone.
As she surveys the apartment, her eyes wander to Joel. She steps past the couch. He wears the wristwatch Sarah gifted him, which now has a cracked face.
What?
To my knowledge, this is the first PlayStation game that has audio description built into the game, built into the cinematics.
Now it's nighttime. Joel stirs in his sleep.
What the
And
heck?
that's really the way we've tried to push the frontier of accessibility on this game.
That's crazy. That's freaking crazy. Look at that.
So much of the identity of The Last of Us is the world.
100%. 100%.
We revamped completely the art direction. You know, everything from these expansive vistas that not only are they beautiful, but you feel the environments. You feel the environments in a much more visceral way. The rooftops overlooking the Capitol building, for example, like just the breath of fresh air when you go up there and you just like, you feel that sort of release in tension. And then, you know, to juxtapose that down in the tunnels in Wilds, and you get that dank, flooded tunnel feel, that humidity, you can actually feel it. All these environments are just completely reimagined.
Now we got our engine on the PS5, those haptics, the 3D audio, the fast loading. It really creates a much more immersive, and because of that, much more emotional experience.
One of the things I absolutely love with the 3D audio in The Last of Us Part 1 is being able to hear an enemy before they sneak up on you. And trying to do a stalker fight with the 3D audio is just so much fun. You're hearing them skitter around in a different room, and you're hearing them trying to get it behind you.
Oh shit, I heard that.
Having that two-part reaction of like hearing, turning, seeing, reacting, it's just really heightens that sense of just being grounded. You are in this character, you are in this world. Now, with the PlayStation 5, the amount of control that developers have over the DualSense, it's really, really cool. All the guns in the game have a variable amount of resistance on the triggers when you aim them. The way it works with the bow is that at the very beginning, when they're starting to draw the bow, there's a little bit of resistance. And then as the bow gets tauter and tauter, the amount of resistance is increasing. And then when you release the bow, you're also getting that resistance going out of the trigger.
That PS5
When you are
controller is
aiming
nuts.
and firing the shotgun, you're going to get a haptic vibration on the shot. And then what I think is one of the ways that the DualSense really advances things is you're going to get a haptic vibration on the pump of the shotgun. And what's much more sophisticated about that on the DualSense is that in effect has a little like speaker in it. And it's playing an audio file that comes through in the vibrations. And those two beats is what you're going to feel on the controller.
Wow.
This looks like a good spot.
This also ties in to the new workbench animations. So if you're seeing Joel taking apart a gun or screwing something in or putting a new stock on a gun, that moment where he's like jamming that on, you're going to get that haptic feedback on that. We have, haptics all across the board, for all the moments you kind of expect, for clambering, jumping, landing, meleeing, getting melee, like all those kind of high intensity moments we have represented in the haptics. What I personally absolutely adore is the way we can enhance the really like quiet, subtle moments of gameplay. So it's like when Joel goes in to pet the giraffe, getting that little light touch on the haptics as he's petting the giraffe. To me, that's the essence of The Last of Us. It's the high tension moments, it's the low tension moments, it's all of it feeling grounded. You're feeling immersed in this world. It's all about bringing you along with that story in as many ways as we can. And that's what the new technology on the PlayStation 5 is allowing.
So is that everything you hoped for?
That looks nice, dude. That looks
Jury's still
super
out.
good.
There's something special about that core experience of playing as Joel and Ellie on this journey. Then to take that experience and really honor it and keep the authenticity of it, but elevate it in every way possible, whether it's pipeline, whether it's art direction, whether it's a technology, everything that allows us to make that experience better. Not different, extremely better. That's why, to me, this is the definitive way to play The Last of Us.
I'm excited, dude. September 2nd. It's also in development for PC. Look, I'll be honest. Do I think it could be a better price? Absolutely. Does the game look great? 1,000%. It looks like, again, if we think about what the game was originally like, and then the PS4 version, the PS4 version is really, really good. But this is just next level. I don't know. This is one of the best remakes in a game that I've seen, considering how much detail is being put into this. But I do think that $70 is a little stiff. I've never disagreed with that. But this is for the hardcore fans. I truly believe that this is, in fact, for the hardcore The Last of Us fans. If you cannot afford it, or if you just don't agree with the price, then you always have the PlayStation 4 version, which is also 100% perfect. That's all it really boils down to. I understand that people are upset. And sometimes when people speak and get upset like this, things do happen. I mean, let's take a look at the Sonic movie. It was horrible. And then people spoke up, and it ended up being a phenomenal movie. And they revamped the entire look of Sonic, and it worked out. So there's also that. But it all boils down to, if you don't want to pay that much, then just don't buy it. and maybe just wait for like a sale or something. I wouldn't be surprised if there are some sales, you know, a couple months down the line. But definitely for the hardcore fans of this game. I myself, this is what I do as you know, for a living, and I'm a huge fan of The Last of Us. You guys know this, and I will be buying it, and I will be giving some away to help you guys out. So really interested to see what you guys think in the comments below. I'm really happy we watched this video because it also does have brand new gameplay, which is really, really exciting, and a deeper insight into what we can expect, right? But it's not the same when you see it versus when you really play it and feel it with the new controller. So I'm pumped. Thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below, and I'll catch you on the next one.